Some of you might know already, but I'm just going to kind of go through what makes Austin special. Next, please. So Austin has a really diverse economy, and as you all know from the West Coast, and we are second to y'all. Here we call Silicon Hills in the Silicon Valley. A lot of the major player, Apple, Google, Dell, Samsung has, Facebook has present in Austin, as you all know. And in addition to the tech sectors, we have the University of Texas at Austin with the faculty and student body over 60,000. So no matter rain or shine, how bad, how good economies, the education is still continuing. And also, same applied to Austin being the state capital. And so there's a lot of lawmakers and congressmen, attorneys, all heavily concentrated in Austin. So just between the high tech, you got the school, and then the state capital really balance out the overall Austin economy. As we look at the cost of living, of course, Texas overall has a really low standard of living. And housing is still affordable, but although Austin is probably one of the highest cities in compared with other Texas city, but it's still very affordable compared to the rest of the country. Of course, fuel prices. We are paying about $1.30 a gallon here currently on the regular, so that always keep costs low. And then also we're one of the few states in the country that have no state income tax. Austin also have very diverse and accessible nature, like hiking trail, lakes. There's a lot of abundant of outdoor activities that people can enjoy. And also the state of Texas is very landlord friendly. There's no rent control. Is basically all the laws written really to protect the landlord, not the tenants here in Texas. So this map, you might have seen it before from Monica, and it just kind of gives you a quick overview of all the major tech company in Austin. And it's kind of, you can see it's scattered all around, but a lot of them more on the north side of Austin, kind of what we call the tech corridors. So it's kind of heavily in that area with Apple, Oracle, eBay, Natural Instrument, IBM, HP, Applied Materials, Samsung, and Dell. So it's kind of on the north side of town. Mm-hmm. Next, please. So we talk about how Austin is, how the diverse economy translates to numbers-wise. So if you look at the unemployment rate, Austin is actually at the 5th lowest rate of unemployment among the 50 metro area. You look at, of course, with the pandemic, it picks up a bit, but you still look at our unemployment rate still way below the national average. I think at around 3.5% as of March. Next, please. So recently, of course, we hear about their tech company expansion. So I'm going to kind of go through some of the highlight the bigger company. Of course, last year Apple announced they adding on a brand new $1 billion campus in Austin. And also Google is building a 35-story office building in downtown Austin. And you can see the building looks very futuristic, looks like a sail. It's going to have over 700,000 square feet of office space ready in 2023. And then you have the Oracle. Oracle actually have 2 locations here in Austin. The biggest one is right in front of Lady Bird Lake, and which the photo you see. They are also planning on adding on another 420,000 square feet, close to 980,000 by the time it's completed. And then, of course, we all heard about the Tesla Gigafactory, and no location known yet, but I'll talk a little bit more on another slide. Next, please. So here, just a quick look of the Austin market. So you look at the how we compare with the Houston market, Chicago, San Francisco, and New York. You can see New York is still being kind of hammered with the sales of the real estate in that market. You can see the downward trend started when the COVID-19 started. So you can see the last few weeks, Austin have rebounded pretty quickly since Governor Abbott announced reopening Texas economy. So we're on, I think, the third, it's like 2.5 or third weeks now. Most of the, I just got a haircut yesterday. So haircut open, bars open, restaurant open, but they have a 50% capacity limit right now still. So, and Monica and I have already seen a really robust comeback of the real estate for the month of April was pretty quiet in terms of especially all the new builder sales. And just the last 3 weeks, there's a really healthy activities, all the buyers coming out and start to purchase home again. So you can see an increase of 11% as May 6 on the pending sales. So next, please. So we talk about the Austin Gigafactory. Although there's no official location announced yet, based on what I read from the Austin American Statesman, a local paper here in Austin, last time when Elon Musk was considering building the Gigafactory back in 2014, Austin was also in the running. But he selected Nevada to build a factory. But at that time, when they evaluate Austin as a potential location, they looked into Huddle and Taylor being the potential location to build a factory. So it seems to be logical for them for this time around that they would consider picking one of the two locations in Huddle or Taylor. So that's kind of what the speculations, the rumor has it, but of course nothing is confirmed yet. So this is kind of a map to give you a sense of where our buyer typically focus on. And so for Round Rock, it's known to be a very established suburb, and you have a population about 134,000 with a household income close to 100,000, around 98,000. And it's really right in the heart of the tech corridors with all the tech company around. It's right off I-35. So strategically, it's very central to go northwest and east-west, but it's a more established city. So as far as investors want to invest in this area, it will be very few new community, new property to purchase. Mostly we'll have to focus on resale, and the price per square foot is typically a little bit higher than compared with like Huddle or Leander. So, and we talk about a lot of growth is being in the Leander area and also Huddle. So Leander-wise, the population is about 68,000, and the household income is actually higher than Wawa, 108,000. It's on the northwest corner of Austin. There are some key development being done right now in Leander. One is called the Love Line. Is a new downtown for Leander, which I have an overhead on it after this. So I'll talk a little bit about that. And then look at the east side. We talk about Tesla possibly will select Huddle as a location to build a gigafactory. It's a small town. It's about 29,000 people. The average household income is about 86,000. For the longest time, Huddle is more a industrial. Before it get developed to more a suburb, is the longest time is more an industrial part of town. A lot of commercial business being in that side of town. But it's transforming into more residential now because of also running out of space to grow. So there are a few things happening also in Huddle, which I will cover. And in subsequent slides. Basically, there's Kalahari is the biggest indoor water park in the country. There's a baseball scouting company had declared to move the headquarters from Iowa to Huddle, which I will talk about a little bit later. And then, of course, we're talking about the Tesla Gigafactory. So it's just kind of here to give you a general sense of where Huddle in relation to Round Rock and Leander in relation to the location-wise in Austin. Next, please. So we talk about what's up and coming in Leander. This loft line is a huge development. If you guys heard of a upscale area in North Austin, it's called the Domain. This one will be very similar to that Domain. It's going to have a mixed use. It's going to have a residential projects, a lot of retails, a lot of restaurant. You look at the whole site is 115 acres and 300,000 of retail space, 700,000 square feet of office space, and then 150,000 square feet of hotel space, and then about 2,000 apartments. So it's going to be a big project, and then it will bring a lot of growth in the area. And some of the community we focus on in Leander is kind of very close proximity to this project. So, investor client will see a very good upside potential once this project is fully completed. Now, this project will, since it's such a big project, it will take about 10 years to complete. So, but it's a good time to get in now while the price is still very attractive. You can get a house here in mid to a high 200,000. And by the time this project is done, who knows how much the property value will go up. Next, please. So now go back to East Huddle side. This is kind of right at the border of Round Rock and Huddle. This is the Kalahari. Like I mentioned, is the largest indoor water park in the country. It's also a really big convention center. So it will draw a lot of visitors, and it will help really bring in a lot of economic growth through the Huddle and Round Rock area. And this is scheduled to open this year. So, next, please. And this is the company Perfect Game. They announced, I believe last year, they are moving a headquarters from Iowa to Huddle. They're gonna have about 13,000 seating for convention, and then it's going to bring another. This is one of the biggest project that brought into Huddle. So that will help support the growth, the economy of Huddle. Before, of course, Tesla probably the next biggest thing if they decide to pick Huddle. Next, please. So what I done going forward is I kind of select few sample inventory home or resale home that are available in the 3 cities we talk about. So this particular home, for example, is in Leander in a community called Bryson. It's a very family-friendly neighborhood, has great amenities, has a pond stocked with fish. Resident can go enjoy, walk around the pond and also fish. And there's a resort-like community pool, clubhouse. So this particular house is 2,800 square feet, or actually almost 2,900 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Currently, it's selling for $332,000 after incentive. The price per square foot, $115.90 per square feet. The current market rent is about, this house can command about $2,200 per month. The tax rate is 2.89%. And then look at the insurance, HOA, and management fee. So if somebody go to finance to purchase this property with a 30% down, a fixed 30-year note at 3.75% interest rate, you're going to have about $1,000 a year cash flow. And if we look at a first-year equity return on investment, you look at about 5.33%. Now, I went ahead, I come up with a 5-year and 10-year price appreciation. Now, This is a actual data approved from MLS based on this Leander area with property in similar size range between, I put between 2,600 to 3,000 square foot home. I looked back 5 years ago, what was the sold price back then versus the current selling price. So that's how I come up with about a 22% appreciation price per square foot. And then likewise, 10 years. So
what's the lot size?
I'm sorry, the lot size? The lot size typically, it varied by community, but this one I think is about 50 feet by probably 120 feet deep. I need to look at the survey to be exact, but typically this neighborhood is give you a about 6,000 plus square foot lot size. Yeah. Okay, next please. Yeah. So this is another inventory home in Leander. This one is a little bit north of the previous home. So this house is 2,300 square feet, and after incentives around 282,000. And the current market rent is about $2,000 a month for this size home. Tax rate is a little bit lower on this house at 2.51%. And again, if the investor paying 30% down at a 30-year note fixed at 3.75, you can look at about a cash flow a year about $3,200 a year. And then with the same calculation, year one, the return, equity return will be 8.15%. And the 5 years, 23% in the price, the sold price per square foot appreciation. And then 10 years, 88%. So moving on, go kind of more to work around our central area. And this particular home is a single family home, but it's in a condo regime neighborhood. As I mentioned before, Round Rock is a very established city. So it's very rare to have, you find new community develop because it's running out of land. Whatever land available, developer and builder, they have to go with a condo regime in order to build new houses on a smaller parcel of land. So this particular neighborhood is pretty new. In fact, the builder still has new inventory available, but at a little bit higher price. This is a resale home. This home is built in 2018, so it's not that old. Currently is what I project the sales price would be about $234,000, and the market rate is about $1,850 a month. Now, tax rate is lower anytime you go to a more established city. The tax rate is lower because all the infrastructure is there. Versus a newer part of town like Leander and Huddle, they have to, the county and the government have to put in new infrastructure, so they have to have a higher tax rate to recoup the infrastructure cost. So as a result, the tax rate is a little bit higher. So here the tax rate is much lower compared with Leander and Huddle. So with this property, you're looking at again, with the same 30% down, 30-year note, 3.75 interest rate, you're going to have about just under $2,700 a year cash flow. And with the year one equity rate return is 7.57, and then the 5-year appreciation 24%, and 10-year appreciation 67%, 68%. So now we're moving east from Round Rock, is the Huddle area. This is a inventory home from a new community built by D.R. Horton. This house is 1,800 square feet. With incentive is right under $249,000, and the market lease rate is about $1,650 per month, and tax rate 2.75%. And then with the same down payment and the interest rate and the fixed 30-year note, you're looking at about just over $1,100 a year cash flow, and year one equity return is 5.83 with 31% in 5-year appreciation, and 10 years 87% appreciation. Last but not least, this is another community. This one by Lennar. It's just under 2,000 square feet, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, $288,000 up the incentive, $2,000 a month in rent. You can tell the tax rate a little higher, 3.17%. Being a brand new development. And with the same payments, 30% down payment, you're looking at $1,400 a year in cash flow with just around 6% in year 1 return, and then 28% in 5 years, 10 years, 86% in appreciation. So that's kind of yeah.
Good, very good, Sam. Yeah, really appreciate for the detailed preparation of the information. So we do have some questions. Say, right now, you mentioned after the shelter in place has been lifted, the activities started to pick up. So how is the builder's reaction to investor buying in a community? Say, if my client's interested to close on a home, and if they reserve a lot, what would be the procedure, and whether they are welcoming the investors?
Well, first off, I'm being local here in Austin. My service to you is definitely I'll be your eyes and ears to and your ground support to meet with the builder rep and look at if the house is already been built. I will definitely be able to go check out the house on your behalf. And if the internet signal is strong enough, we can even do a FaceTime walkthrough of the house. As far as to be built, picking a lot, all that, we could definitely coordinate a Zoom call with the builder rep, and then we can look at all the information such as the site plan, the different floor plan, and then we can, based on Q&A and select information with the builder rep together.
Yes, definitely. It's good. Are they restricting like a certain proportion of homes to be sold to investor?
Yes.
Like say, I certainly think, we've been there with a property tour back in February.
Right.
And many of the builders actually have a waiting list
right.
For investor. So maybe you can explain to us a bit about it.
Yeah. So the, as most of Austin being a pretty popular destination for investor. So, and like Monica mentioned, like February, there's really a backlog of investor queuing up to purchase in the community. But each community will vary in terms of the allocation of homes available for for investor purchase. Typically, the ratio is about 10%, but it does vary between builders and community. So once the quota is met, they have to basically put on hold until they go into the next phase of development. Then they will have more homes available. Then they'll reopen up the investor law. So when the pandemic hit, of course, all the builders feel sales lacking, so they pretty much remove all the wait lists and allow the investor to purchase. So that's why we see windows open up that we can go in to look into purchase investment property in some of the target community we look at. So so it's currently, I think we still have some opportunity, but as the economy starts to going back full strength, that the availability will definitely shrink, and then we'll have to get back on the wait list on top of the incentives. Probably when the demand is there, the builder will cut back incentive. Pretty much you have to pay what the list price asks for. So.